Welcome to the Getting Real with Rael podcast, where we get raw, real, and brutally transparent so you can be the best version of you. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's kick it off with your host, Rael Andrews, a.k.a. Coach.
All righty, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. What's up, champions? Hold on one sec. Listen, I promise. Well, you know what? Jacob is supposed to be here. I'm not sure where he is yet, but we will find him. You know, Taggart is. Well, you know what? I did take. Why does this sound so weird in my head right now? It's sounding. Oh, that's better. Ooh, there you go. Hey, now I got that. Sexy, raspy soap opera voice going on now. You know, I was going to say, you know, Taggart is a former police officer, and you know, I can find people, right? And but we do know that Taggart, remember, Taggart was like in Alberta. Like, isn't that funny? My cousin's from Alberta. Do you remember, like, Taggart was in Alberta like for 5 years? Like solving a case. Does anybody remember that? Like, I mean, like what kind of police officer takes 5 years to figure something out? Like, I mean, are you serious right now? Okay, like what was he doing in Alberta? Like, and then every now and then, do you guys remember? Every now and then he would yeah, they'd have on the show. You know, I wasn't on the show, like really, but every now and then on the show, right? Does anybody remember this? Right? Is that they would wait, he says I don't have a link. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on. This happened. So my TikTok people, hold on one second. Let me just pull up the text right here. It's right above you. Here it is. It's right above. Right above. Here you go. Here it is again. 1 second. Again. 1 second. Boom. Boom. Right there. Okay. So I just resent it to him. I'm coming back to my TikTok world. Where's my TikTok champions? Oh, I messed this up. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, we're back in TikTok. You know, and they would every now and then they would have a conversation on the show. Remember this? And they go, "Hey, Taggart, yeah, it's you know, commissioner here. So how's it going there in Alberta?" And they would go like, "Oh, yeah. All right." So you remember that? So awesome. So Caroline, let's Jacob, he's getting on it. He'll be coming in. So Caroline, remember, let me see, can I email while I'm talking? I'm multitasking right now, guys. Okay, because Jacob is saying that he is not getting this. So let's see what's going on here. I will Jacob Young link. There we go. Let me put that up in here. Boom. Okay, so now we covered all sides now. So coming back to StreamYard, right? So let's all sing Caroline a happy birthday. Okay, ready? Oh, no, you know, we'll wait for Jacob to come on so that Jacob can sing as well. But yeah, Caroline asked me to do a special workout for her today. It's her 43rd birthday. And so the number, when it's your birthday, so I'm 59. Well, can you imagine what that's like? But when it's your birthday, a tradition that me and my wife have been doing for years. There's my man, Jacob, up in the house.
What's
Jacob,
up, brother?
House.
Good to see you, man.
Great to see you. So I'm glad you came in at just the right time because it's one of our champion, Jacob. Now, hold on real quick because this is what we do on the fly. I just want to make sure because you guys know enough about me, but I do want to post it. So, Jacob, just checking. On your social media, is it everything at Jacob Young?
The Twitter and Instagram is Jacob_W_Young.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? So that's let me see. What did you say? That's Twitter and what?
Instagram.
Twitter and let me just put. I'm making a banner right now so I can stick it up.
Yeah.
Instagram, and then where else do they find you?
Oh, well, you can find me at. Let me bring up my Facebook. Make sure I got that.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube. Let's see. Facebook is well, I think it's just Jacob Young.
I think it is. Yeah,
It's just Jacob Young, and then my YouTube is also Jacob Young.
Okay, cool. Let me just create this real quick, and then we can have you Facebook and
Just double check that.
YouTube is that. Okay, so good. I created that. Boom. So we got that. I'm going to save that. I'm going to create it because I just like to have fun up in here. I'm going to create one that I can scroll every now and then. How about that? Let's have some fun with that one. Let's check it out. Let's see how it works. Look at that. Twitter and Instagram, Jacob Young, Facebook and YouTube. Let's say if I want to scroll it. Oh, look at that. And it's scrolling.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to just have it ready quickly. Is it younghealthysolutions.com?
Younghealthysolutions.com.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, let me make 2 of those as well, and then we're going to get in here and have some fun. So first thing we're going to do, Jacob, because I know you'll join me, is it's Caroline Shower. And now Caroline is a huge fan. She knows you from the many days. She is a huge, let me get the better window here. I like this. Oh, that's much better. There you go. She is a huge, all the way back to Bold and the Beautiful, the whole deal. So it's her birthday today, and she's 43 years old.
Nice.
Yeah, and Jacob, I got to tell you, so check this out before we sing her happy birthday. So she reaches out to me, Jacob, and she's one of my hardest working champions. She says, Coach, it's my birthday on Wednesday. Can you do a special birthday workout for me? And no burpees, please. So I respond to her. I was actually nice to her. I respond to her, and first thing I said, so rule number 1, never tell your coach what you don't want. Because that's common. But also when it's your birthday, Jacob, something me and my wife have been doing for years is, depending on how old you are, that's how many reps we're going to do. So
I thought you were going to say spankings.
Well, if she was in person, we would definitely. Oh, remember that? We used to do that. I forgot about that.
My dad would. My dad still, like, even when I was in high school, he'd call it the daily beating, but it wasn't really a beating. He was just like, time for your daily beating. It was just out of love. But I don't think you're allowed to spank anymore.
Probably not. I'm willing to bet that would not go over well at all. But so anyway, so the workout I designed, guys, check this out. So I'm going to do it by memory because it's a big one. So she's 43. So the number was 43. So they get to do a 20-minute warm-up and then what's called a buy-in, Jacob. So they got to do this before they get to the workout. So to buy in, she got to do 43 close grip push-ups, 43 wide grip push-ups, 43 medium push-ups, 43 pull-ups, 43 chin-ups, 43 kettlebell swings, 43 goblet squats, 44 alternating lunges, and I think 43 V-ups. Oh, and then she got to do, I don't think I gave her the total bars, 43 V-ups, and then she gets to go to the bike or run or whatever, do a mile. And then she comes back and now the workout starts. So she had deadlifts, hang cleans, jerk press, and burpees. So she's got 12, 12, 12 with the bar or dumbbell, whatever, burpees, back on the bike, a mile or run a mile, 5 rounds. She's still doing it right now.
And now she's going to feel like she's 84 when she's finished. What are you doing to her? I mean, she's going to feel probably like hell for 2 days, but then feel probably 3-4 years younger just by doing that.
Wow. Okay. So let's sing her because now I know you can sing, so I can't. So it's not going to sound good, but it's the purpose that we're doing it. Okay. So here we go. We're going to sing her to Caroline. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, dear
dear
Caroline. Happy birthday to
to
you.
you.
See how good? Do that last line, Jacob, because by yourself it sounded good.
I don't know what I did. Happy
You-
birthday to you. I don't know.
That was good. Oh my
That's
God,
my
Caroline! Caroline didn't learn her lesson. She just said, "Go easy on Die Friday." That's like a formula for death, Caroline. Anyway, so I'm excited. Me and Jacob, Jacob recently, we launched, as most of you know, I've been talking about this program in our company. It's an influencer program, and there's a few people, Jacob being one of them, because of our history with mental wellness, and I know he's very passionate about it and stuff like that, and we'll talk more about that later. But I reached out to him and I said, hey, we got this cool program now, the influencer. So he is one of the influencers with our company and on our team, and I am so excited about that. But we were talking, and then I was like, Jacob, we should do like a show once a week.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't completely decided on the name yet. So I thought, we're going to come here today and we're going to put it out there. And maybe what we'll do, Jacob, to the winner, we'll each sign them a autograph picture. Maybe I can get like a script from GH next time I'm working or something.
We're gonna poll the audience.
Yeah, like
Okay.
We need a name. We'll give them some ideas. What's some of the ideas we've been kicking around, Jacob?
Real is cool. That was one of them. Jacob is better. No. These are not real.
Jacob is better.
Jacob is live with Jacob is better than Real. No.
That's good though.
Really good ideas. In fact, we had one that was so
we
good.
had the best, and we didn't write it down.
We didn't write it down.
So,
but some of the names you threw out, you had a name the other day.
Yeah. She says Rail, R&J Funhouse. Yeah, that was it. Wellness Wednesday, Laura Volk says. We were also thinking about, like what I said today, problems versus solutions. Warrior Mindset with Jacob and Rael. Problems versus solutions with Jacob and Rael. Wellness Wednesday with Jacob and Rael.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically we're going to talk about things that can help you, whatever God puts on our heart, but things that just every week we're going to get together and talk about solutions, positive things to help you be successful. Or
what if it was something like nutrients? Like, because nutrients can be words of wisdom. Nutrients can be, obviously what we put into our bodies. Something new, something nutrients. I don't know.
You know what? This could be like nutrients for the soul.
Yeah.
With Jacob and Rael.
Something like that. Nutrition.
It could be like,
soul?
Yeah. What would you say?
Nutrition for the soul?
Nutrition for the soul. Because that can be mind, body, spirit, right? Nutrition. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's write that down before we forget. I'm going to put it in the chat.
I have my pen handy right now.
Nutrition for the soul. So you guys keep going. So here's the deal. If you come up with a name and we choose it, you're going to get some cool prizes from me and Jacob. I don't even know what they are, but I promise you they'll be cool. Oh, Courtney says she liked Courtney Adams. She's one of my studs in Arkansas. I get to meet her. She is a powerful mom. Like, she's like your wife. Like, this girl, I don't even know how she's like in the bowling club. She's in the bingo club. She's got her kids in this. She's got her kids in that. She's I think she's like duplicate. Like, there must be 3 of her. Like, she's on the.
I'll tell you what, when you have kids, and you know this, Real, moms become invincible. They literally, they will pack your schedule for morning, noon, and night. Like you're like, but I had these things to do. It doesn't matter. The kids we got the kids thing, this thing, that thing. And hey, make kudos, Courtney, to that, because that's amazing.
I know. And she's like, I want to see her in person because I think there's more than one of her. I don't think it's humanly, well, I should know better, like with my wife. But I love what you said, Jacob. Let's talk about that for a second as a man. My executive assistant, Penny Porter, I don't know if you have one, but first and foremost, only if she has extra time, because she's my executive assistant. She handles all my stuff in the world of soap opera and acting, and she's phenomenal. But Penny Porter says, Rail and Young fit blessings for the soul and mind. Well, Penny, I love you, champion, but that's a little wordy.
It's a little long. I love all the kind words. Love the words. The words are beautiful.
Yeah. They are good words, but maybe we can take pieces of that. But
they're going to be like Jacob and Rael's in the What's in Nuts show. Yeah, you know the one.
Yeah, that one. It's got to be short because, for example, on TikTok, I went to put solutions and problems with Jacob, with Rael and Jacob, and it cut me off.
Just call it problems with Jacob.
Problems. So I almost did that. Problems. We got Lunica says hi on TikTok. So just so you know, Jacob, because I know we were talking about you used to do your thing on. And by the way, what's the name of your podcast, Jacob? Because you got an awesome
Real Conversations with Jacob. Yeah,
Real Conversations, and Jacob, I was on it. If you didn't see it, you need to check it out. It's awesome. He does an amazing job. He really does. And he actually did a podcast. Listen, you are the talk of Amari, Jacob. I mean, he did a podcast with, as being one of the influencers, I was able to hook him up with Dr. Talbot, who is the creator of our products. And, they get to interview him so he can put it on his own page and all of that. And I was actually on my way to Arizona, and I tuned in and I'm like, who is this guy asking these amazingly brilliant questions? It was so good, Jacob.
Oh, man.
No, it really was. No, it really was. And trust me, I've had many people in them. Oh my God.
I'm coming up on my 70th episode.
Wow.
Seriously, 70 episodes every single Wednesday. Real Conversation comes out. And yesterday I was randomly, one of my mutual friends is a big country independent artist. His name is Cody Jinks. He reached out to me and he said, hey, Rocket just asked for your number. Well, Rocket is Roger Clemens. And Roger Clemens, I hung out with him in Sedona, and we've been talking about coming on the podcast and doing that. And so I was reaching out to Roger Clemens about the 70th episode of Real Conversations. I've had a little bit of everybody in there. I mean, it's a wide range of guests. I had the late great Mary Wilson. It was her last interview from the Supremes.
Wow.
Last interview. I've had Eva LaRue, of course, on there. I've had Cameron Matheson on there. Lots of different country music stars, up and coming country music stars, doctors, and of course, Dr. Sean Talbot, which is right now actually available today on the podcast. We did do a first live version actually on StreamYard, this exact format. And not only was it educational for me, but at least I got to tell the man just how much and all the great stuff that the Amari products are doing for me, mentally and physically.
Yeah. And what we do know, Jacob, I'm so grateful because, boy, did you need some help mentally. No, I'm just
thank you, man.
I'm just joking, brother.
No, I mean, listen, I've been telling myself, and my wife has been telling me that every day on the hour.
Oh my God. No. Listen, I remembered, it was a long time ago, but I remember what it was like when we first met back on the show on General Hospital. This young kid came in, and because he was young, he's half my age, right? I'm 59 and you're 20 something.
Wow, God bless you. It's the Amari products that keep I'm 42. I'm 42, but I was very young. I was probably 20 years old when I first started on GH. So that was some years ago.
Yeah, and you were so far ahead of yourself at 20. I'm just real quickly. So we've got Nutrition Love, Elise Fleming. I put some of these people over here. Courtney says, I wish there was 3 of me. Nikki Joe Hart says, I love Nutrition for the Soul with Jacob and Rael. That is kind of a good one. I really like that one because it's like the nutrition, like I say, mind, body, spirit. So we'll pray on that one a little bit. I do like that. But I remember when Jacob came in, and if you know me and Maurice, Steve Burton, we're all serious workhorses. We don't play. We play because we get prepared before we show up. Right. And this young kid was so ahead of his years And we were just like, we'll watch, because whenever anybody new comes on, right, you're always like, yeah, all right, let's see what you got, buddy. Right. But he just brought it, dude. And he just had a great work ethic. He took care of business. I mean, it pretty much speaks for himself, And we were talking the other day when I was driving, right, Jacob, to Arizona. And I said to him, because if you listen to his podcast, which I really encourage you to, if you haven't already, you get how many downloads do you get, Jacob, right now?
Well, I didn't really know what all that meant initially going into the podcast realm. I just knew that it was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to get out there and have a voice and talk about something that was passionate to me. And it's still a very thin line, because not every personality that I bring on the show is willing to completely open up. So I wasn't quite sure how it was going to impact, but to put into perspective, if you have a podcast, and this is for people that don't know that world, 150 downloads will put you in the top 80 percentile of podcasts. Then from there, it really starts to jump up. And that's each episode. It has to be at least 150 downloads per episode. But then, from there on, it starts jumping up. So like if you're talking about like the Joe Rogan Experience, which, obviously it's been controversial. It's this, that, but it's out there, and, he gets a ton of downloads. So last quarter, and I always, my podcast company, Empire Podcast Network, that I go to, last quarter I had over 200,000 downloads, and that puts that number out of those episodes well above the 150. So last month I was 13 on Apple Podcasts for TV film for downloads. I call it TV film because it's easier for people to access, because they know that I'm a TV personality. But of course, the real conversation, we cover all the bases as far as what people are up to. And then, of course, we break it down to the mental health and how they got over those hurdles in their life.
Right. And, and so that I was talking to Jacob last week. And because if you listen to Jacob's podcast, he's got like sponsors and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, because I'm always open. I always want to learn and stuff like that, because he's got sponsors and I don't. Okay. But, I am just relaunching my podcast. So, and I have his coming up, by the way. So April 1st, I launched with Tabiana, who plays my sister on the show. It's going to be her first interview, her first podcast since airing on the show, and it's powerful.
Yeah, I saw the commercial ad space.
Right? What
you did for that on the social media. It was great.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. And then I'm going to do Donnell and then Jacob, because Jacob is the third. So look for that podcast. It's powerful. But I said to him, dude, how do you get these like these sponsors, dude? And he said, I went after them. I was like, dude. And me, I was like, dude, because every now and then we got to get a wake-up call. I was like, he didn't wait for it. He made it happen. He went to these people and said, hey, I got this show. I can do this for you, do that. And dude, I love that. Ingenuity. What's the word I'm trying to say? Ingenuity. I don't do 3-word syllable words.
The idea, I mean, look, if you have something to say and it resonates with an audience, then you got to let other people know that are not educated in that space. And there's so many, so we all know that, like, of course, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram social media has become an outlet to reach out with products. Some people absolutely hate it. Some people absolutely love it, because we have the consumers of the world, and we're all consumers. And so if there's something that resonates, great. If it doesn't, whatever. But then some people do get irritated by it. But the whole idea is educating the fact that a podcast is a focused audience. The audience that is tuning in weekly to you is going to be listening to those commercials. If it's a video podcast, even that much more better. Then you can, it's video, you both, which now I'm going to be moving into more of that space. And because of Real actually introducing me to StreamYard, I knew it was out there. I had already subscribed to it, but I had never actually used it, because I was like, oh, this seems a little bit foreign to me, but you educated me on it, and we can reach everybody simultaneously, which is really fantastic. But so, I reach out to these people and I say, hey, look, here are the numbers. Here's what we're talking about. I think our products align. I think my message, I think my self-image, these align. And so you have to get after it. And then life, right, is just the same. No matter what we do, whatever avenue we decide to go down, we have to have that same aptitude to go after it, whether it's your physical health, your mental health, or just your general well-being, or just, finding the next check that's going to pay the rent. You find that space, that, what is that void that needs to be filled? And then you take that chance. Look, I've been shut down for every time somebody says, they want to work with me. I've been shut down 100 times. That doesn't stop me. Is it disappointing? Oh, hell yeah. It's absolutely, it's incredibly disappointing, but I don't let it sit there and weigh on my shoulders. I go, they didn't want that product. Okay, move on.
Yeah.
And that's really how you have to look at life too. And, when you're going after something like that, because, does it require some courage? It does. Does it require some commitment? Absolutely. Because you're going to have to, communicate, have your facts straight, whatever that is, whatever you're selling, whatever you're working on. But for me, it's like sponsorship is really great, because now they're going to be promoting the product as well, and they're helping get the message out. So that's the only reason why I reach out to them, is that they're going to be behind me too. And now I've got their audience, this audience, that audience that are going to be tuning in. So I do appreciate that, Real, but that is, and you're going to have the same thing. It's just about, going after it. Just like your dream. If you want to be fit, you want to be a great actor, you want to be a great restaurant owner, or the very best waiter or waitress out there. It's all relative. You just have to have that desire, and that you have to fill that void, that need for it.
You said a few things, Jacob. I'm making notes, and I'm going to and that actually might not be a bad name there, going after it with Jacob and Real. But I am kind of loving that nutrition for the soul. I'm going with that right now, but I am writing this down. And, it's so true, Jacob. And as you were sharing, going after it, I like that. I'm writing it down so I don't forget. It made me think of a couple things. One, as an actor, so we can both relate to this, and you said it like, people don't realize, I don't think, and why would they? But the average person goes to high school, they graduate from high school, they kind of are thrown into college. They're really not sure what they want to do, but they make some quick choices. They go to college, they say, well, I'm going to be this or this. They graduate from college or along the process, and then now they find the person they want to get married to. They get married along the way, or maybe not. But now they're like, then they get that, this is it. You know what I'm saying? They get that big job interview. Okay. And now they run down, they buy the nice suit or the nice dress, they get the briefcase, and this is it, baby. This is it, honey. I get this job. We're set. We're going to be able to buy a house, all our hard work, everything. It's going to be good. This is it. And it's like that big moment. And they get that job interview in the normal world, maybe 1 to 3 times in their life. And it's like they either accepted or rejected. But as an actor, every time we go on an audition, it's that one big interview. And we'll sometimes 5 or 7 in a day. And most of the time, like you said, we're getting rejected. We get ourselves pumped up and we're ready to go. This is it. I remember, Jake, I remember the day when I was a struggling actor, man, it was like so many of those, if I could just get this, I'll be able to pay my bills. I'll be able to pay my thing. And, and then no. And no. And so the skin that an actor has to have, when we talk about going after it, when we talk about, I think we've really learned, that's why we're successful in other things, because we understand grit. We understand being relentless. We understand, you know what I'm saying, Jacob? It's not an easy road. And when people see Jacob winning his Emmy, when they see Real on General Hospital, it's like that. For me, I think it was 17 or 18, maybe 19. year overnight success, they don't know about all those struggles.
Yeah.
They just see us in the end. Right.
Yeah.
And then how many people come up to you, Jacob, and they're like, hey, would you hook me up with your agent, brother? Like,
Oh,
like
it
I'm
happens
like,
all the time.
yeah, like,
I mean,
yeah, dude, no, nobody hooked me up. Go to work.
No, yeah, no, I literally, speaking of that, when I was a teenager, I went around, I put just a bunch of press photos together. I had no idea what I was doing. And I literally went to every single agency, / modeling agency that I could find in LA that would allow me to drop off my photos. And 99% of them were rejected. I didn't have credits. I didn't have anything going on. But eventually, by beating down that door, it happened.
You know what's crazy, Jacob? I didn't know this about you, but check this out. So back in the day in Vancouver, and I got it still, the original one, somebody sent it to me recently. I had a little taste, and same thing, dude. I was this kid in Vancouver, and somebody told me, they said, if you want to get into acting, you need to start with modeling. Now, I went and did some research just like you, and I found out that that's Milan, Montreal, Italy, Toronto, New York, the main places, Vancouver was one for modeling. I went and did this thing back then. I don't know if it's still called that, Jacob. It was called the Z card. Okay. I made a Z card. I had 5 pictures on it, 1 on the front, 3 in the back. And I, like you, dude, I literally sent it out to I don't know, but it was hundreds, if not thousands, of all the different modeling agencies all over the world that I could find. Yep. And I did the exact, and I got one response from a lady in Toronto at Penny Noble Agency. I'll never forget. Loretta was her name. This was a Friday. She said, you can make a lot of money in this industry. Mm-hmm. I was, I think I was just before I was 21. I sold everything I had that weekend, Jacob, except my water bill. True story. I was on a plane Monday on my way to Toronto. I did not know where I was going to stay. Eventually, my mom hooked me up with a friend of hers, and I stayed there. And that was the beginning. Mm-hmm. But out of hundreds, I got one yes.
Yeah, that's it. But it only takes that one person, right? It's a tough industry. There's a lot of people. Doesn't mean that you can't make it in that industry. It just means you got to keep trying. I was watching a podcast interview today, just randomly. It was on the news, and it was with Sean William Scott, the actor, American Pie. He's done a bunch of movies over the years, a lot of comedy stuff. But they were talking about the fact that he made $8,000 for the first American Pie. And that was a lot of money because that was like his first major coming of age comedy, etc. And he said right after that, he'd bought a car, like a used car, a used T-Bird. He had a couple $1,000s left and went to work at the LA Zoo to sell churros while he was waiting for the movie to come out.
Wow.
And I was like, so that's dedication right there. That's why he made it. That's why he made the money he made, because he wanted it. And he didn't take, he was like, even though I made this big motion picture for, whatever it was, whatever distribution company it was at the time, he still knew that wasn't going to pay the bills. And he still had to get up in the morning and, figure out how to, feed himself, put a roof over his head. It's it's a tough road. I mean, it doesn't matter what career path you choose, to be a success in it, you have to live in it, be buried in the trenches of it, and just absolutely manifest it. Manifestation is how do you feel about manifestation?
My gosh, dude, I'm huge. Let's talk about that today. Let's talk. I didn't know what we were going to talk about. Let's talk about manifestation. I'm a huge fan of that, Jacob. Everything in my life I've manifested, I mean, even I can, I don't know, but right now I'm going to Arkansas this weekend to be with my team. And, whenever I'm on Zoom, except now I have my logo of my company, but every other time I have the picture of all my champions on my team, because I'm manifesting that event. I'm manifesting. I'm a huge fan of it. What about you?
Oh no, I mean, I think every dream begins there. If you don't believe it, you don't, just embed it in your mind, your heart, your body. You're never going to really fully experience it or live it or even achieve it or be there. Manifest every success goal starts with manifesting it to begin with. Whether it's an early on dream, what if we did this, right? I can't tell you how many times I've started that conversation. What if we did this? And then said, well, how do we get there? What do we need to do? What's the next step? And then believing it, manifesting it, putting it into yourself, going to bed thinking about it. Because trust me, the next day you're going to have a brand new realization of it. You're going to go, oh, I see the picture clear. And then somehow I think just by living it, manifesting it, people seeing you living it, they start to believe that same exact thing, and they believe that you can do it because now it's coming out of your pores, metaphorically.
You become, right? That's saying, Jacob, right? if you think about a pizza all the time, you're going to become a pizza. I mean,
Yeah.
we joke about that, but it's true. Like if you think, I remember I know I love Gary Vee, right? He's a little hardcore, but he is what he is. He just keeps it real. We all have our own style. And I remember seeing once something, he was talking to this champion, and she said something like, I don't understand. I just never seem to be able to be successful. Can you help me? And he said, you're not successful because you keep telling yourself you're never going to be successful. I mean, people don't understand. Like, what you need to understand is this, champions. Okay. I don't know why it always does that on TikTok, but runs out of energy. I think TikTok drains it for some reason. But anyways, so here's the thing. We have something like, don't hold me to it, but this is factual. We have something like 90,000 subliminal thoughts every single day. They're the same as yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before and the day before. And something like 90+% of them are all negative. I'm not worthy. I'm no good. I'll never amount to this. I'll never do, I'm never going to make it as an actor. I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to, in my world, this network marketing thing, I'm never going to make that. I'm never going to achieve my health goals. I've never, well, no wonder you're not. Because here's what you need to understand. If it actually comes out of your mouth, do you know how many times you've bombarded your subconscious with that negativity? Mm-hmm. So just by simply changing some words every day, right, Jacob? Yeah. It's amazing how you can change your life.
Yeah. I always say, this is what I get to do. This is how I get to do it. This is who I get to talk to. This is why I get to do that. Just changing that word. Simple.
Now you said I get to. I love. Do you know I have that license plate?
I got to go to work. I've got to do this. I've got to study. I've got to have a meeting. No. It's really, it really is. It's a simple change. And what was it? One other thing I was going to say, you were speaking about that is, it was about manifesting, but go ahead, Rael.
No. I'm just there's so many great comments of people loving you. Laura, get knocked down 7 times, get up 8. They're talking about, who was that one here? I don't know if you saw it. I put it up, but she said, right here, I loved you, Jacob, on AMC as J.R. Chandler. Loved your scenes with Michael Knight and, oh my God, Katie McLean. You got to work with some champions right there, bro.
I've been lucky. I've worked with champions my entire life, Rael. I've been very fortunate. But I also got to say that it was also part of that manifestation that we're talking about. I knew, from a young age that what I wanted to do, I was clear about it, and I had the energy to do it, and I wanted to do it. If you only halfway see something, you may only halfway get there. But if you go, you go the distance with your thoughts, your dreams, your imaginations, it happens. And I worked with Tony Geary and Jeannie Francis on General Hospital.
Yeah.
David Canary. Michael Knight was my stepfather. Katie McLean. Old and Beautiful, John McCook, Catherine Kelly Lang. These are the
Legends.
living legends, or David Canary's past, but living legends of daytime television. And I mean, I watched the shows growing up because, shoot, we only had 4 or 5 channels in my house, and those were the channels that were on.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to say that I have actually, in some way, I feel like that dream that I had manifested, and especially what in daytime was for me, was I felt like I conquered it. I conquered that manifestation. I've been there. I manifested it. I made it happen. I got to work with somebody. I worked with you. I worked, there was just so many great
Wait a
actors.
sec, though, dude. Did you manifest a big badass black man coming into your life, or what? Because I want to know how that happened.
I manifest.
Did you manifest me coming into
every
your life?
night. and look what happened. Here we are.
Oh my God, no. But in all seriousness, though, it's so like, Jake, you're I remember as you're saying this, I've done it a lot, but I remember 3 things specific. Okay. The first one was when I was 13. My original dream was to go to the Olympics. Now, I don't know. I didn't know what manifesting was, but somehow I was doing it. I had this thing. And I remember when I set a record, it still stands today. I ran a 10.49 100-meter dash in at 13. And I never ever ran that fast again. But I remember I was sitting up in the bleachers, Jacob. I had my hood over. My mom used to make me my custom tracksuits. And I was sitting there, and I remember it was painfully slow. But I went step by step. I saw myself behind the blocks. I saw myself getting into the blocks. I mean, I went through the whole, and then when the gun came out, I saw the whole thing right through, and I was manifesting that time in my head because that's the goal that I'd set right through the breaking the tape. And then all of a sudden the race came, dude. And it was like, boom, I came out 10.49. And it was like, I manifested that. I manifested becoming an actor. I remember, Jacob, sitting at a table. I was doing Space Hunter 3D with Molly Ringwald. And I was an extra. Wearing this, when you're an extra, I don't know if you ever did, but I'm an extra and you got to get dressed up. You got a mask on. It's the worst. Okay. Because they don't want you to move. You got to fake the whole deal. So I'm one of these characters on Space Hunter 3D. You would never know it was me because I'm like under a costume. But anyways, and I thought it was the coolest thing. I was sitting at the table one day, and out of earshot is the stars of the show. And they're talking about Hollywood and how cool it was and all of that. And I was like, I'm going to go to Hollywood one day and become a successful actor and walk the red carpet. And they were like, yeah, right, kid. Why don't you just stay over there and do what you're supposed to do? First and foremost, there's no work for African-American actors right now. And less than 3% of SAG actually makes a living. So you can remember how powerful those words. I remember that as it was yesterday. And I remember, Jacob, I didn't say it out loud, but I remember looking at that idiot. And I said, dude, watch me. And from that point, I saw myself walking the red carpets. I saw myself getting those auditions. I saw myself and look where it is. Fast forward. I manifested it. I manifested things happening. And, it's so powerful, to just, because in my gym, and the third thing I saw was in my gym, I still have the posters downstairs, Jacob. I created these posters. So when you'd walk into my gym, because every night my mom would say, she'd whisper in my ear and she'd say, don't dream tonight, son. Dream big. Okay. So there was that. So when you walk in my gym, the first thing you would say, dream it. A big, big sign. Say, dream it. That's the first thing you say. And then my dad always taught me, there's no such word as CNT, son. There's no such word as C. You can do whatever you want, son. So then I said, dream it. Believe it. That was the next thing. When you turned the corner to the gym, the first big sign you'd say was believe it, right? And then as you turn the corner and you'd walk into the gym, the sign said achieve it, because my dad always taught me, one more rep, son. Do things with excellence, son. Do the work ethic, whatever your work ethic is, Jacob, whether it's studying your lines, going to acting class, working out in the gym, making good food choices, whatever that is, go achieve it. Right. And then as you left my gym, over the door, it would say, and this is where most people mess up, Jacob. It would say, remember it. They do the first 3, They become successful, and then how quickly they forget how they got there. And guess what happens?
Right.
I mean, it happened to me, dude. I worked my butt off to get to Hollywood. I did all of that stuff. And then when I got on top, Jacob, I forgot, and I was partying like a rock star.
It's easy to forget. It's easy.
Okay.
No, a casting director friend of mine has said it best to me. So when you're in your 20s and you are working in Hollywood, the amount of things that you take serious are little to none. By the time you're in your 30s, they're still sort of there, but not quite as, not quite as bad as it was when you're 20s. When you start hitting your 40s, then you start going, hey, where are all those auditions that I used to get? And then, or those job offers that were coming in. And then you get to your 50s and the same. It starts getting less and less and less. So if I could press any kind of importance on any idea, any career path that you choose, and you may choose to go to a different direction when you do at some point in your life, but no matter what, is have that same passion that you started with when you were younger, and carry that in all the way through your entire career. No matter if you decide to go laterally and make a total U-turn and go a different direction, you need to have it and have that passion, because as soon as you forget it, and I'm guilty of that too, Real, I did the same thing. I did the same thing because unfortunately I just didn't have the mental capacity at that time to realize what I was doing. I was just trying to heal this void in my mind that needed the medication, needed the nutrients, that needed the right things to keep me moving in that right direction, and not feel like I had to go out to the scene and drink 6 drinks in a night. And
6, that's all?
No, it was
you're an amateur, dude. I used to kill you.
It was probably a lot more. I'm trying to be like, hey, let's just keep this in check. But no, it was, those are the things that waylay your entire, those manifestations, those dreams. And then all of a sudden the consequences kick in. Well, what happens is you're now not mentally ready to be there. You're not mentally ready to be in a meeting, show up to the job. Suddenly people start to lose, whether you realize it or not, they're losing respect. And if we're going to be a champion, like Real says, we have to be champions for life.
Yeah. And let's talk about that, because it's so good, Jacob, because I think what we both know and what brought us back together, is when we're talking about, nutrition for the soul, we've got mindset, we've got spirituality, we've got like the nutrition, and, I'm a big advocate, and so are you, but, how important do you find, like, what I noticed, like, for example, I have a routine. I'm very routine orientated now. And I have, like, I fuel myself definitely with the solutions from Amari, but I have some key ones. And then there's the other ones that are just important because we're talking about the gut health. And I noticed this morning, like, because I hadn't taken some of them for a few days, because we get lazy, right? I'm just
forget. Life gets in the way.
You get lazy, but this is our body, champions. We've got one body. It's not like I work with people all the time, Jacob, but I've been a fitness expert for 30 plus years. It's one of my passions, but it's like I work with champions that, dude, they would spend money they didn't have to take care of their guns, their fishing rods, their cars,
their cigarettes,
but they won't spend like $69 on a tub of Edge, which, I dropped 50 pounds on, because they just won't invest. How important do you think this is, investing in your health?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, it's everything, right? Because this is, it's our life. Like you said, we have one capsule and we're walking around in it. And it's up to us how great we want to make that life. I've always been an advocate for, supplements and taking different things. What I can say, over the last 60 days of, now taking the products again, because I took them 2 years ago, not the GBX Fit, but I had loved the Amare stuff when Rail first introduced me to it. But I have to say I was off of it for 1 week. And what I can say is their decline of energy, the decline of feeling good. I mean, mentally feeling good. And this is what I was still trying to understand is like, well, I was been taking this product and it was slowly building up in my system. And suddenly the arguments and the little like stuff you get in with your spouse and things like that, because my wife and I, we have a great relationship. We really do. I'm home. I work from home all the time, whether I travel for work, but we're home a lot together. And so, of course, I know I've heard a lot of stories about people like, well, during the lockdown, during COVID, we were home together and like relationships became a little bit torn apart. Well, I can tell you right away that the one thing that I did notice is that from not taking it for a week is that feeling of wellness, that serotonin, that dopamine, and we all know that that's responsible for the reason why we feel so good, that frontal lobe correction that starts to happen. And that's all coming from that gut health, that microbiome fixing this. And I know because there's a hereditary issue in my household where I grew up, with my mom, my sisters, and we've all suffered from depression. Now, some of it might have been, onset from family traumatic experiences, but it shouldn't be so generational. And I see it even in my kids at times. So what I've realized is truly, if you're fixing what is inside of you, it starts to release the right things here in the brain. And being off of it for a week absolutely just devastated me. It was, being off of the edge specifically, because the mood, the metabolism, the motivation that's behind it, like excited to get up for the day. It feels like it's not going to solve your day in and day out problems, but it's going to help you attack it in a much, just a much more fulfilled way. Like you're not going to be dreading having to do it when you're feeling so great.
No, and you think of it like this. It's like I think of us, right? And Nikki was asking what the edge is. And guys, if you're interested in checking it out, you can go to, let me put it up here for you. You can go to, I want to keep Jacob's. Yeah, I want to keep Jacob's social media up here as well. Yeah, younghealthysolutions.com. And, Jacob's favorite products are up there. He's got his own page, and Edge being one of them. But Edge, I personally, Nikki, lost 50 plus pounds on it, and it's phenomenal. And what I like about it as a coach is it's got no stimulants, no caffeine, no calories, no sugar. It's gluten-free, non-GMO, non-dairy, non-soy. It's awesome. And it's priced right. It's like less than a cup of coffee, unless you live in California. If you're less in California, it's like a quarter of a cup of coffee. No, I'm just.
Sorry, you don't have enough for a full cup of coffee today.
I know, right? I'm just joking. But it's like I always tell people, it's like it's mind-boggling to me that your body. I tell people your body's like a NASCAR. Now, you would not see a NASCAR driver, because here's what I want you guys to catch. We're talking about the fuel, or I don't even know what the name is yet. Soul for the nutrition for the soul, whatever. You want to think of it like this, because I work with high caliber athletes as well. David Schumann is one of our entrepreneurs and one of our influencers, and he runs NUC Combines. Now, he works with world-class athletes in the football arena. And so you want to think of it like this. So by the time these kids get to the combine, right, and you've got two kids that are, let's say they're linebackers. They're both 6'6". They're both 285. They both bench 315. They both run a 440. They both have the same vertical. So who wins now? The one who has the mind right, the mindset, and the one who fuels. It's the same thing as a NASCAR. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you knew this, Jacob. I didn't always know this, but this is when I started using this analogy. When we're talking about NASCAR, right? They, by law, they have to, or whatever you want to call it, the cars are exactly the same weight. The cars have the same engine in them, the same horsepower. Everything is the same. So how does one car get to the finish line first? It's how they manage their fuel. It's how they manage their pit stops. It's the same thing as us. How do we, so if we have, let's use us in our world, Jacob, if we have the two actors exactly equally yoked, and, let's just pretend it's not a physical thing or whatever. We're going to get judged on a performance, and they put us in like a challenge, and they give us 100 pages of dialogue a day, and they stress it and all that stuff like that. Who's going to win? The person who's going to win is the person that fuels himself the best, because if you fuel yourself your best, your mind is at the best, and you can go to a whole nother level. And I'll use one last example for you, because it's happening right now with my son.
Mm-hmm.
My son is in the police academy. This is no joke, guys. He's in the second week. Day 2, 3 already quit. But my son is being prepared for this all his life, and he's also fueled with the best nutrition. So when these guys, dude, they did 15 hours yesterday. Like they are stressing them out, thank God, on purpose, right? They say, well, we want to make sure that we get everybody to graduate. That's a load of crap. No, thank God it's a load of crap. Their job is to try to get you to quit. Because if they can get you to quit now and stress you, thank God you'll be able to live a healthy life as a cop and protect us, a police officer. Because do you think it's easy out there?
No.
But the reason my son is able to, because he has the mindset, because his mom, his dad, and his football coaches, and David Schumann was one of his coaches, and Fred, but he's also fueled. So when everybody else starts to be hurt and they don't have, and the mental capacity isn't working anymore, and they're not able to, because he's got to go do this all day, get his butt kicked, and now he's got to go study. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Have you noticed, Jacob? Have you done any acting since we got on this? Have you noticed your retention and that is different? Mine is through the roof.
My cognitive level is much higher, much higher than what it would normally be, and the desire that it's, again, we've talked about those words. I get to do that, but the desire in the heart and the body. If your body's feeling good, like let's put it in a different term for me, because over the last week, I started to try to run a 5K again. Hadn't done that in a while, right? Why am I running a 5K? Because I'm taking this product. It feels fantastic. I'm like, the motivation is there. I just feel good. I feel good.
Did I tell you about heart yet, Jacob?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out and I'm going to run a 5K this morning.
Now, did I tell you about heart? Heart's your secret weapon. You don't even know about that one yet. I
haven't even taken that yet.
Heart, dude. That's how I beat up on these young champions. I don't tell them about it, but you're doing it right. Heart, it's not only great for your heart, but it's like it increases your cardiovascular and your endurance. You definitely want to check that out.
I got to check that out. Well, so the last, so I've been doing 3 days in a row, and the first day, I think I walked probably approximately 3 blocks. I had to take a breath. Just, kept my speed walking going. Of course, we know that fat metabolizing is not just like full out heart rate. It's also a nice fluctuation too that happens. So it's not a bad thing to walk, but I also had that separate goal inside of me that manifesting going, hey, you need to run this 5K without stopping. Mm-hmm. And guess what? I just did that this morning.
And I love that, man.
And I know, because I know it's directly from taking the Amari products, because I'm feeling better than ever. I'm waking up mentally feeling better than ever. I just have this sense of I can conquer the world, and I'm ready to go for it. There's not much I can say else about it. It's just like, look, you have to discover it for yourself. You can hear people talk about things all the time. If you have never tried it, you won't know. Give yourself the opportunity to see what it does for you. Because there has been, with the all natural, nothing's worse than having stimulants, these diet pills, these things. I've taken them all. I've taken all that stuff over the years.
And then some, right?
And then some. All the energy drinks, all that stuff to try to stay fit.
Your heart's like this.
Heart's
but I feel so good.
Stress on it. And that was the one thing about the Edge that I was so amazed by. I was like, okay, so there's no caffeine in this? Okay, because that's what we've all been taught to understand.
That used to amaze me too when I was like, come on, dude. Because I was like
pre-energy drink or even just energizing your day with this. But as soon as I started using it with, I don't know, maybe about a week into it, I was like, I think I want to get another scoop of that because every time I take that stuff, my focus is better. My conversations are better. I'm better for my family and I'm losing weight on top of it.
Yeah, you were saying that like that you were sharing on the podcast with Dr. Talbot, you're actually leaning out and stuff like that. But anyway, so I want to bring this home. I want to respect your time. And I will say this. So I say, Nikki, guys, you can go and actually, because I do want to end with, let me pull that banner back up for Jacob. I do want to end for, no, not that one. Let me leave his social media up there. And there we go. So I'm going to do this, Jacob, as a thing, because I see Champion said she needs to get that heart and everything, guys. So if you want to check out any of these products, you can go to Jacob's page, younghealthysolutions.com. And Jacob, you let me know the first 3 people that order product today from you. I will send them a free box of this bad boy right here, my energy right here, mental focus, all of that. But
fantastic.
Yeah. So with that said, Jacob, let's leave them with, so we were talking about manifestation and let's leave them with something till we see them next week. I like to leave them with an action step or some homework so that they can be a better version of themselves next time when we meet them. So what's the action step or homework that's on your heart that we can challenge them with?
Well, I mean, it would definitely consist of stepping outside of your comfort zone. And, whether that's, taking those first steps and, doing something, walking around a block. Like for me, it comes down to fitness because, I know how I feel when I'm physically fit. So I don't know. I mean, challenging yourself to do something that's outside of your norm that you've been talking about that you don't do now.
I love it. I love it. That's, you know me. Do you want it or are you just talking about it? So I love that, Jacob. We're going. So once again, guys, make sure you follow Champion Jacob on Twitter and Instagram. He is at Jacob_Young.
No, it's actually, it's not that it's actually Jacob. It's a really complicated one, guys. It's Jacob_W_Young, but it's only Jacob Young with a blue check. So it's pretty easy to find. So just type in Jacob Young and it will come up.
Let me check it. Let me fix it. Hold on. Let's fix it. So it's Jacob_W_Young. Okay. So let's get that back up there so you can see the right one. Is that right? Oh, nope, that's not right. Hold on. Let me get it right. 1 second. We got to have this right here, champions.
But the Instagram and Twitter are exactly the same. I'm pretty active on my Twitter account. I mean, I'm not one to blow up, people's messages and things like that. That's not why I use Twitter, but I am there, and people can connect through Twitter, Instagram, of course. And I'm fairly active on my Facebook account. So if you guys want to reach out.
Nice.
And I'll try to get back to you anytime.
All right, so champions, we love you guys. All my single moms out there, my #supermoms. Let's go, man. You guys are important. You matter. You can do whatever you want to. And I got you, man. I fight for you and I got you. You know why I got you? Because God's got you. Me and Jacob will believe in you. We're going to be here every Wednesday. It might be some exceptions because we're both working actors, but that's our goal, to see you every Wednesday. And we're going to have some fun. How many of you thought this was fun? I really thought this was fun. We had no idea what we were going to do. We just said, let's do something because that's how we are. We're action people. And man, Jacob, I really appreciate your time. Thank you to your wife for loaning you to us for an hour and your kids. And make sure you get with Jacob and his podcast. What's the name of that podcast again?
Real Conversations with Jacob Young. It's anywhere and everywhere you can get podcasts. If for some reason you can't find it, go to my social medias, hit the link that's in every single bio, my YouTube, the link tree, and it's Real Conversations. It's the same photo as pretty much it's everywhere for that, all that stuff. So, and if you still can't find it, just DM me. I'll send you a link.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And, you know, my podcast, Getting Real with Rael, obviously this Friday, April 1st. It's not April Fool's. We'll be kicking it off, relaunching it. Tabiana Ali plays my daughter on the show. She is awesome. Who would agree? And tonight, guys, at 4:00, for any of my entrepreneurs, you know, let me just put it up here real quick. I almost forgot about that. I am doing, you might want to jump on this, Jacob. If you guys go to $100millionbrand.com, I'm having a Zoom with a champion. He wrote this book called Average Sucks. And he actually does an amazing training, Michael Burnoff. He's doing a free training for all of my champions. And it's really just about reframing and mindset and verbiage. And if you are in any kind of business where you're dealing with people and you want it, this will 10x your life. This will even help you with your marriage, okay? Especially us guys, because you'll maybe we need to talk about that next week, Jacob. Us guys are like, we're a little slow to the table sometimes. Like my son is already like that. Dude, I think that's the stupidest thing. Happy wife, happy life. Son.
No, there's something to that.
The sooner you figure that one out, dude.
And also, let me close out with just for me for my podcast. This week is obviously Dr. Sean Talbot. Yeah. And next week is Levi Hummin, who had recently this last year had a huge hit with Walker Hayes. You know, fancy like Applebee's. So he has a song he and Walker wrote, and they both are in, called "Paying for It." And he's got a new song that's getting ready to drop this coming month, and he's on the podcast this coming week. And after that is Tanya Pinkett's Tony Award winning Tanya.
Wow.
So she's going to be on the show, and so just tune in. Real Conversations with Jacob Young. Subscribe. Go to podcast, Spotify.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah, subscribe. That's it. Subscribe to both of us.
Go to Spodcast. No, Spotify.
Dude, because I gotta get you like 200,000 downloads, dude. I'm coming, dude. I'm proud of you, brother. I love you, man. I'm proud of you guys. So with that said, champions, we are out of here. Take care. Have an amazing day. God bless.
Thank you for listening. We hope our podcast helps you in your journey to walk in your power and create generational wealth. If you liked the show, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and leave a rating. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter @RealAndrews. Looking for more tips, tools, and nuggets to help you on your journey? Stop by our website, www